Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talking NASCAR with Brandon and Clint. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Clint.
Tonight, we are going to talk about the life of Kyle Busch. Clint and I have been putting off doing this episode
Yeah,
for a little while. Kyle was a tremendous loss for the NASCAR community when he passed away, and we wanted to kind of take some time to get our thoughts together and just reflect a little bit on his life, his legacy, and what this means for the sport. And Clint, where are you at right now with this? Because this hit us both like a ton of bricks.
yeah. No, it was it hit us both really hard and weird. Weird, I guess, because neither one of us was. I mean, I was a fan, but I wasn't like a diehard Kyle Busch fan. Like that it touched my life. I didn't feel like, but
Hmm.
I think it's still it's still hard to believe, right?
Hmm.
Uh, for two races now after 2 weeks after, and I think for both of us, it was the kids or the wife he left behind, and how it must be for them, and how young he was relatively. Right, he's only a year older than us, 2 years older, whatever. So it definitely it makes you think about your own mortality, I guess, and how it could happen at any time. Right, you just won a race the week prior,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it was pneumonia turning into sepsis, right? So, and I've had pneumonia. I never had pneumonia ever until 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I've had it twice, and it's not fun. And both times I put off getting treatment for work or whatever reason. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I'm just lucky that it wasn't worse, right?
Yeah.
So, and it really makes you think about your own health and stuff like that. Because I mean, NASCAR, for whatever that one guy says, like they're athletes. They're in a 120-degree car for 3-4 hours at a time, manhandling a car that at high speeds, right? Like if it's not athlete, I don't know what is. So you have to be in good shape. Even Tony Stewart, to some degree, had to be in decent shape. Uh, yeah, no, I think it's still shocking,
Yeah.
still hard. Uh, it's weird watching without him there. Even when he was running 20th, you knew he was there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no, even yesterday, I was thinking about that as I was watching the race. I was like, I'm so used to looking for where he's at in the running order. He's one of the drivers that I always looked for to see where he was. And I think the fact that this was a something that happened off the track, this wasn't an accident. This is something a medical emergency. That it hits a little different than when Dale Earnhardt died or when some of these other drivers, when Neil Bonnet died, others that have passed in the car. That's a risk that you run. Now the risk is much lower, obviously, because of the safety innovations and things that have happened, but it's still a risk that it is still there. It's always there. But the fact that this was a medical emergency for someone our age, just a seemingly healthy 41-year-old who happened to be, the greatest all around racer, I think, in NASCAR history, if you look at the number of wins,
yeah,
his success in the sport, the number of wins across all three series, completely unparalleled. And I don't think we'll ever get anyone that comes close to matching his ability to compete in all three of those series um,
yeah,
ever.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, it is a weird time right now in NASCAR. It's strange. It feels weird. It feels a little bit like after the first few weeks after Dale passed, something is just off, and that is a testament to to the driver he was, you know.
yeah. You lose somebody who was larger than life to some
Yeah,
degree, and very much similar to losing Dale. And look, for all the parallels people made between Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt, uh, they you again you knew they were on the track no matter where they were. Uh, Larger than life personality. Love him or hate him. Dale Earnhardt was never the most popular driver, uh,
Yeah.
and Kyle Busch obviously was the most popular, hated driver for a long time.
Hmm.
Uh, but you knew where he stood at all times, right?
Yes.
He didn't like the car, he told you. If he was happy, he told you. If he was sad, he told you. If he was angry, he told you. Uh, he, you know, would go. He went tried to fight drivers. Joey Logano. He ended up,
Hmm.
going after him. It big point to what we say. Helmet off. He took the helmet off and did it.
Yep.
Uh,
And he was willing to take punches too. I mean, or he took his share of punches.
yeah,
He was popped. He got, Ross Chastain, I believe, was one that got a good pop in on him.
Ricky Stenhouse got him a
Who
year.
else?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got him at the All
Oh,
Star race.
Stenhouse. That's right. Yeah, 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 yep. I mean, he raced hard, but he also, I don't think he necessarily wanted the physical confrontation, but he did not, I don't think he ran away from it either, and there were times where he would actively go after drivers, which again, having fire, having passion like that is desperately needed in the sport right now more than ever. There are too many Alex Bowmans. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah,
Too many of those very vanilla, boring personalities. Chase Elliott is a great race car driver, and I wish him nothing but the best. He's about as dull as dirt. We need these Kyle Busch types, in the sport, and obviously his children and his wife. Today is Samantha Bush's birthday, by the way,
I
uh,
didn't know.
and
It was what was he like? A few days after his own birthday, a few days after Brexton's birthday,
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
right?
literally just posted pictures of Brexton's birthday party, and hopefully that young man. The thing that I hope for him is that if he wants to race, he should race. But if he doesn't want to race, he doesn't need to let other people's expectations determine his future.
Yeah,
He is too young. You know what I mean? Like he is so young. He could do whatever he wants to do with his life. If he decides to be a racer, great. But I hope it's because that's what he wants. All this stuff of saving the number, Richard Childress saving the number for Brexton, that's incredibly sweet, and I
yeah.
get the sentiment of that. But
It doesn't
only,
hold a certain future for him that is undetermined. Yeah,
yeah, exactly, yeah. And
the
if he,
expectation on an 11-year-old to be his dad, right? And nobody's going to be Kyle Busch. Brexton's not going to be Kyle Busch.
yes,
He can't be as successful, but he's not his dad. Same as Dale Jr. was not Dale Sr.
exactly, exactly. Well, and the whole thing too with that is like, does he want to be that number? Because if you would have asked Dale Jr., other than a few occasions when he ran it, the Wrangler number 3 in the Busch Series at Daytona and won, if instances like that, you want to be the number 3, he'd be like, "Are you kidding me? Of course not.
Yeah,
No, the number 3 is a sacred number that is reserved for great drivers like Austin Dillon, apparently." Um, but
if I do recall, and I could be wrong. I'm sorry to sidetrack slightly.
no, no.
When Junior was leaving DEI, he was given the opportunity to drive the 3 for RCR
Hmm.
and pass it up.
Hmm.
I think they said he sat in the car and he went, I can't do that."
Yeah, I am not sure if that is. I mean, I'll take your word for it, but that wouldn't surprise me a bit if that was his reaction. And so I get some of the sentimentality. I. How did you feel about when they brought Samantha and the kids out for the first race after Kyle's death, 3 days after his death, when they
I
brought
was,
them? You what?
I was very surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I didn't think negatively of it. Obviously, it was Samantha's decision to do that.
yeah.
Uh, I think probably to some degree that community had become their family.
Hmm.
So in essence, they were obviously surrounded by people who loved them.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, within the racing community, and it was weird. I guess weird to put them front and center. But again, I assume she had to agree to that. So
Yeah, that's very true. That yeah, she definitely. If you know, when I first saw it, I was like, "This is too soon to be
yeah,
doing something like this. Maybe in a few weeks, have an event to rally around them once they've had a little time to grieve or to begin the process of grieving. You haven't even begun the process of grieving after
yeah,
that period of time. You're still in shock. Maybe this is too soon. That was my initial reaction. But you're right. If she agreed to it, then maybe she thought it would be healthy for the kids, for her to have
I do
that
think
community.
yeah, I think you saw Brexton grow up a lot because he had to console his mom, right?
Hmm.
And so I felt really bad for him uh, to be in that position. Very sweet of like Owen Larson, Kyle Larson's son, to come up
Hmm.
and hug him and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, you see kids like, and that's the thing, these kids are my kids' age, right? 11 and mine are about to be 10 to 13, right? So having to deal with and process that kind of grief at that age. Like you look at Lennox. Lennox is, I think, 4.
Hmm.
She probably really hasn't grasped it. She's kind of like probably still moments of where's dad, I would guess. Uh,
Hmm.
but you definitely saw Brexton have to grow up, and that hit me as much as anything. I think
Sure.
thinking
Sure.
about my own kids having to, if something happened to me, them having to deal with that moving on.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. How do children navigate at such a young age? Navigate grief and processing grief, and how long does it take them to truly understand um, what's happened? I mean, will they ever really understand? Will they ever make peace with it? These are questions that there other. It's obviously there's no clear answer there. But yeah, no, I share with my the concern there for that, because that is, especially for someone who's at such a pivotal age, like you're about to be a teenager. You've got this path potentially as a racer, but it's similar to when and I hate to keep going back to the death of Dale Earnhardt, but I think it's fitting in the sense of there's a father son racing connection. When Dale Jr. was grieving the loss of his dad, he lost his motivation, because all he had wanted was to make his dad proud of him,
Right.
and that motivation was gone. But then he had to find the motivation again, and it took him time.
Yeah.
It took him time. And he said when he won the Pepsi 400 in 2001, my dad and I were there. That was a hell of a day. That was so special. But when he won in 2001 the Pepsi 400, he said that was the beginning of healing. He goes, that wasn't closure. That was the start. I
Yeah.
felt like I like I felt like I could be out in the world again. Like I felt like I mattered again. It was such a and so it's going to take some time, obviously time for everybody to continue to digest this. I'm glad NASCAR is doing the salute on lap 8. I think that's very fitting. I am glad that there are drivers, they're honoring Denny and taking bows. Seeing Kyle Larson's daughter take a bow
Yeah.
was one of the cutest, most precious things I've ever seen. Um, but I don't know. To me, I missed last night when Denny, who we'll get to, Denny was my pick to win, and turns out he won.
Yeah.
Not to rub that in. Someone has a big points lead now too. I forget his name. His name rhymes with Landon. Big points lead.
Yeah.
Um,
My pick decided to just blow a rotor. So
mhm, mhm. You picked the wrong manufacturer, because there were Chevys that were their rotors were going out like left and right at that race.
yeah.
But Denny did bow once he got the checkered flag. I missed that initially. I thought he didn't even do anything to honor Kyle Busch, and that's when I text you like, what gives here? I thought Suarez winning the week before was very sweet. It seemed
Yeah,
like that really, really meant a lot to him to
yeah.
honor Kyle Busch. But I'm rambling on here. What are
No, I think. Well, we talked about legacy, right? And not Motor Club, not the team, but
Mhm,
how many people, how many drivers, how many crew members, how many crew chiefs are in that garage started with KBM, right?
yeah,
We talked
yeah,
about that before, right? And he touched such a wide. We know this now. Like you didn't think about it when he was alive, but
mhm,
now you're like he had such an eye for finding talent
mhm,
that, and I'm sure some of it was he was a Toyota, you know, stuff in the Toyota pipeline and all that, but uh, there's you go down the list and there's just so many drivers that drove for him,
mhm,
and so many crew chiefs that it worked at KBM and crew people, and it's just like that's his legacy beyond his kids. His kids, obviously, your kids are always your legacy, but as far as the sport goes, like he brought in so many good people and helped elevate them, and that's for me. Like Junior does that really well too.
mhm.
Finds really good talent, promotes really good talent. People come through JRM or Junior Motorsports and on up to bigger and better things. Same thing happened with KBM, uh, and that's as much your legacy beyond your kids as anything is the impact you left and the lives you touched. And it's clear, it's really clear for how many people didn't get along with Kyle too. The Joey Logano's, Brad Keselowski's, but were how important he was to their journey, right?
Mhm,
Uh, Even from a competitor standpoint, he pushed. And this, the thing for us is that for a long time Kyle was that guy who testing out his team and everything on the radio and cursing out NASCAR and all that stuff. But that's because he demanded the best from himself and from everybody around him. And so many people, like you said, you showed me the other day. Somebody commented on your Kyle Busch video about Kyle or whatever. It's like I never saw Kyle Busch's crying as he wanted to win so bad, right? And that's like what we were saying, like the whole the vanilla part, the whole we ran top 10. That's a great day. For Kyle, top 10 wasn't a good day. The only good day was winning, and even sometimes winning wasn't a great day if the car didn't handle right. Um, but that's what you want to see. That's the fire. That's the passion. The drive to win. The drive to be the best. He wanted to be the best, and if anything, you and I could sit here and say he probably was or was very close to the best.
mhm.
He's definitely the best of our generation, like bar none. Had he stuck it out with JGR, no question in my mind, he'd have 70 plus wins right now. Maybe even another championship. Like the dude was that good. Even if he didn't agree with his car, he was that good, you know.
Sure.
And that, yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know what else to say. He he touched a lot of people,
Yeah,
their lives,
he did.
uh,
He did.
and made a huge impact that will be felt for years to come. Uh, Weird honoring the eight, if I'm going to be honest, because to me he was the 18.
Sure,
You know, uh,
sure.
like I could see Gibbs coming and say, "Hey, we'll save 18 in case Brexton wants it. RCR will save eight. Maybe do the 18 and the eight font. I don't know. That's up to Brexton. Again, I don't think we put a pass on this kid and say this is
Yeah,
what you're going to do.
yeah.
Um, if that's what he wants to do, and he obviously has the talent to do it, then that's fine. He's got to find the drive again, probably,
Mhm.
to do it. There's going to be a period of time where he just doesn't want to do it, I'm sure, but that's up to him, and that's his journey. If he decides to do it, that's great. It's going to be weird for him probably to not have his dad there to teach him and to mold him into, share the knowledge he's gained into making the very best he can be. Right.
Mhm. Well, and unlike Dale Sr., Kyle Busch actually seemed like he was definitely about mentoring and trying to help the next generation of drivers. Dale Jr. tells the story about there was one time his dad actually like got on the radio with him during practice at Bristol and
Yeah.
actually told him, "Here's what you're doing. Here's what you need to do in this corner." And he got on the radio. He's like, it was for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He goes, "That was it.
Yeah.
That was it."
Yeah.
Um,
Figure it out.
and- yeah, and so Kyle Busch is actually seemed like he truly, truly was. Um, in addition to having a great eye for talent, as you pointed out, was truly interested in what the next generation of racers would look like and what their success. He was invested in the success of the future, not only his son, but
Yeah.
also other drivers as well. And this one will, each race will get a little bit less weird. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it'll the new normal will set in, which is unfortunate. And my thoughts are also, of course, with Kurt Busch at
Yeah.
this time because he had a complicated relationship with his brother. Uh, and you know that's always a tough. I'm sure there's lots of different emotions that he's feeling that are unique. Just like his parents. What they're feeling. Tom and Gay, I believe, right, or the husband or the
Yeah.
mom
Yeah.
and dad. And so this one is going to take time. It's a big loss, but the good thing is we do have the memories. There's a lot of awesome Kyle Busch material on YouTube. If you're feeling
Yeah.
sentimental, as I know you and I both do sometimes with this stuff, you can listen to the what truly was a tour de force. He was a relentless, hard nosed racer, and in a time where that was desperately needed. And I think how that is how we can close this episode, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Um, but we have an off week this week.
Do we? Okay.
I think this upcoming week is an off week. This shows how out of it we've been with
I
NASCAR
thought Michigan. Okay.
since Kyle. Um, but we will. All you need to know right now regarding the points between Clint and I is that someone named Landon is.
We have a 43-point lead.
I have a 33 point lead.
43.
43, even better. Even better. That's great. That's great. That's what we like.
No, they're in Michigan this weekend.
Michigan this weekend. Why did I think it was an off? Oh, it's an off week for. I think it's O'Reilly this week is an off week. I don't know what I was thinking. Um, you know what? I just messed up. I'm not going to try to make an excuse
Yeah.
for my.
Yep. Michigan. I already have my pick set.
Okay, you already have your pick set.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to do some more research here because I've picked winners. A few winners
Yeah.
lately.
You did.
Forget the whole Austin Dillon fiasco.
I mean, you picked SVG. That was a gimme for a road course. I'm not giving you
He might not have won. He might not have won. He didn't win the first road course of the year. He might not have won. That was not a give me pick. There's no such thing as a give me pick. So take your judgment and www.sh.com keyword. So that's all I have to say about that. But in all seriousness, we will have another. Hopefully, we'll have another episode for everybody soon. But take care of yourselves. Hug your kids.
Yeah.
Life is
Tell them you love them every day. Every day.
yeah. Yes. Tell them you love them every day. Life is short. And rest in peace, Kyle.